And welcome back, everyone, to the final race of today. My name is Tyler, and I'm being joined today by Nick.
Good evening.
All right, so this is going to be the final match of the day, and this is losers round 2. So the winner will go on, and the loser will unfortunately, have to say goodbye and just watch from the sidelines. And I think we are about ready to get going here.
And they're off.
All right.
So I think it's fair to say that we've got a bit of a David and Goliath match on our hands here.
For sure.
prufr0ckk is really going to have to pull something out of the bag, or hope that Plywood, I don't know, drops rope like 3 times in a row. It can happen.
Or lasers, last race, I think we saw 2 continues at the lasers, so, there's a lot of things that are still on the table and can still happen, even this far into the tournament, for sure.
Absolutely. Of course, we now famously just sit and wait in the docks for a little bit, where we don't really have much to talk about in game. So, what are your thoughts on the tournament so far?
I think most of the races have been about what I expected, except for the plywood one and perhaps the very start with Vermilion versus House. But I was not expecting there to be so many close races, especially this late on, because like you would think that in like the winners bracket those would be like really good, but I feel like a lot of the good races are down here actually, because I feel like there's a lot more swing to a lot of these leads here, and that can make it a lot more exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, you've only got to look at the first race of this evening, and Vermilion and Solid Snake was really close. It was a really good match to watch, and it really could have been anyone's game right at the end of it. Seems that's kind of Vermilion's thing for this, having either really close races or actual tied races. Damn.
Yep. Oh, looks like we have a slight issue from Nick. Hopefully that gets resolved soon.
Oh.
Oh, you were watching for just a second. I think it was just a slight dip in the internet connection.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, we're gonna get into some action here as the 2 runners are just approaching the heliport. Not much action. It's still we say this pretty much every time. The first 5 minutes is a bit slow.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on.
So it did look like prufr0ckk did start slightly ahead. He started the game slightly early, so I'd say at the moment both runners are pretty much on the same pace. Again, it's very difficult to say much about it this early on in the race.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a whole lot going on, but once we get to the very first, I would say boss fight is kind of just like a guard fight. It's not really a boss. I mean, even the game doesn't really consider it a boss, because if you go to boss survival, it's not even there. So,
which
just
is
a little mini boss. Yeah.
It's interesting because Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance's boss rush does include both the guard rush from the tanker and the Tengu fight from the plant section.
Yep.
So it's weird. It's weird how the decisions they made with both games to either include or not include those fights.
Yeah, very weird. And well, for like 26's case, I do know that there were some things that were kind of rushed, and that's why that there's like some things that aren't fully refined. Like, for example, if you get all the dog tags, there isn't really too much incentive for it. Where in like MGS 2, you at least had some some nice wigs and self and bandana, but for Twin Snakes, it's kind of just there, just like, nope, here you go. Here's some dog tags. Have fun.
And that's not to say you should ignore dog tags. Dog tags are great. Go do dog tags.
Especially liquids now because of the brand new strat. Now it's free to get. Yeah.
The JM chunk really makes grabbing liquids a piece of cake.
Yep, for sure.
And that's one of the things that obviously this this tournament helps. You know, we've already discovered a few little optimizations. We're about, if either runner can go for it, we're about to see the first one, the first one in the run. It's not the first one that got found, but the first one in the run that has been found since the tournament started. And that's one of the reasons why we like doing these tournaments, because it gets the game in more people's hands, and the more people who are playing the game, the more people we have potentially discovering stuff. So this first one that we're going to see here, well, if the runners attempt it, I don't actually know if we've had anyone succeed. Yeah, have you seen anyone do a SOCOM roll?
I think I've seen one or two. I can't recall who, but I know that it's at least been done once in this tournament.
I've attempted it in my last two and just can't get it right. I can do it in practice, but I haven't put it into a run yet. So what you're going to see the runners do here is they back up into the door, and there's a couple of different methods for pulling it off. I think Plywood will probably pause the game and unpause to buffer, and then and they're both going for it.
All right.
And the idea is that you roll out of the door at such an angle that you grab the SOCOM, and prufr0ckk did not get it. Oh, did get it. There we go.
That's a good time save.
And you can see straight away how much of a time save that is. Sets you up really nicely for the second phase as well.
Oh, very clean from Plywood here.
I think he got a bit of help from Meryl there, which was quite nice.
It's always nice to see that. I have a bit of trouble here on these guards, and it looks like prufr0ckk got some good RNG with the ammo drop, so it looks like he's pretty good on ammo. Oh. Fire extinguisher.
That's really clean from Plywood there.
Yeah, pretty decent lead so far now. All right, so now... Oh, sorry, go on.
Yep, a little bit of codec.
So now we're going to be going down into the armory to go and fight Ocelot. Not too much can really swing here, except for depending on how you actually blow up the walls. You can be at a very particular angle, and you can kind of blow yourself through the wall, which can save a little bit of time as well. We'll see if Plywood or prufr0ckk goes for it. But Plywood has a pretty decent lead so far, and see if he can extend that past the next couple of bosses coming up.
We should give a thank you to JJ MGS1, who has gifted a tier 1 sub to Lime Meringue. Thank you, JJ MGS1, for your 144th gift sub. Alright, let's see Ocelot, first boss.
And just like that, 3 quick headshots. Fairly straightforward. Let's see if prufr0ckk can have a similar fight. I believe earlier he actually had a continue on this fight, so looks like that will not be of a great possibility here, as he has a pretty clean fight.
That was really, really clean.
Yep, for sure. Pretty much about the same.
Runners. And Plywood's not call Meryl straight away. You can call Meryl either in here in the armory or in Ocelot's room, and it's completely down to runner preference.
I was kind of shocked that Plywood got the ammo, because I think he had like 37 coming out of the garden counter, so he's almost tapped out now on his magazine. I think he's got way more than enough. That was me personally. I wouldn't have gone for that, but hey, I guess he wants to no games, in case anything bad goes during the tank fight. I will be prepared for sure. Oop. Yep, 44 out of 61. Yep.
Wow. Yep, that is definitely more than enough. Anyway, prufr0ckk 29. That's also a very good number.
Yeah. Bit on the low side. Usually want to sit around 30 or so, also depending on how you do the laser strat, which we're going to see right here coming from Plywood. Oh, So he's going for the classic one where you just kind of roll through and then just shoot these one at a time. There's a couple different variants to go for this room, but
plays it safe. When you're in a race environment, you quite often want to go with the safer strats because you're not going to be resetting. prufr0ckk here taking an even safer method of just standing at the edge and shooting the lasers, all of them, without having to roll through them.
All right, so we have no laser fails this time. That's good.
It's always a bonus.
Yeah. All right, we see the tank fight coming out from Plywood. You want to be running to the left-hand side and be sure to actually get these 3 quick headshots and then run over to the right-hand side to pick up some more chaffs. So now we see prufr0ckk starting the same. As long as you're in a good position now. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, here we're going to see another little optimization, which was actually developed by Plywood here, moving over to the left-hand side of the tank to force the tank gunner to turn like that. And it just gives you a lot of time in order to get that 3rd headshot off. Flux is looking clean as well.
Yep. Wow. So in terms of like bosses, they've been fairly similar aside from the very first guard encounter where Plywood got that really good SOCOM roll, and you know, this is just the like sheer amount that like that can actually give you for a race. So, you know, if you have the chance to go for it, and then you know, you may as well get it because you can get a pretty sizable lead here, as you can see.
No doubt, this is entirely down to that. This lead for Plywood is entirely down to that SOCOM roll right now. Because they were both really clean tank fights. Just I'm sure prufr0ckk will be kind of relieved at this point. I know I am after tank. You know, tank is one of those fights where you can really lose a lot of time if it goes sideways. And of course, just before that, you've got the laser room, which is just a run killer if you die. So tank is kind of that first moment of, okay, relax.
Right, and as Plywood is going through the gas hallway. Oh, that was kind of weird. He kind of dipped down. It was a bit spooky. I was kind of confused for a second. So both runners have plenty of ammo for both this fight and for dealing with the dogs, and that's if they choose to actually use the SOCOM for the dogs. Some like to use the M9. It's all player preference.
And as we go into the next boss fight, it is time for the Cyborg Ninja. It's always really nice when the ninja goes down into that bottom left-hand corner and just gives you the opportunity to quickly snag those chaff grenades.
Yeah, for sure.
Plywood there getting in the Nikita roll, which just allows you to drop one combo and makes this fight just a little bit quicker. This is looking
clean fight
really
so far.
prufr0ckk just seems to be struggling to land that Nikita kick.
Plywood
not quite getting close enough.
Yeah, so Plywood unfortunately taking one more cycle than like he really needed to, but I'm guessing he is just trying to be completely safe because I think we've seen it a couple times where he will have literally 1 HP remaining and he'll somehow not want to finish the fight and then go on to the next phase. I forget who we saw that from, but that was I think a week ago or so. As now Plywood finishes and prufr0ckk should be gearing up to get to the next phase. Yep.
This is going to give Plywood a bit more of an edge on that lead now.
All right, and as far as like Mantis goes, I know that Plywood, that is one of his better fights. So if you're prufr0ckk, really want to hope for a bit of a slip up here because this lead is not shrinking at all. It's in fact extending just ever so slightly, but it's still not completely out of his hands. There's still many, many factors to come into play.
Plywood missing prison roll and prufr0ckk getting it could very easily swap this round at this point. So it's still all to play for.
I think if I were Plywood, I would just do the toss at this point and then kind of like challenge prufr0ckk to actually do a like bong prison roll, because he may be watching and like seeing the actual distance. And if I see this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it safe and it's gonna be on you at this point. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna shoot myself here, run the foot. I'm gonna let you do that to yourself.
Twitch plays speedruns. Thank you very much for the tier 1 sub.
And Glenn, thank you for the 3-month consecutive sub to Moobot. So now Moobot is fully subbed through the rest of the year. Yay.
Woohoo!
Now those emotes can actually be shown in some of those timer commands. That's nice.
Interesting thing that happened there is both runners went for the roll getting back out of the lab, which is it saves a number of frames. It's actually quite tricky.
Speaking of rolls, Bob's gonna roll into Meryl, forcing her into the room pretty early before she has a chance to slap. Game's gonna say nope. We gotta go and fight Mantis. Can't do that.
Quick PPK. So it's interesting to see the weapon status of the runners at the end, to see when they approach this, to see whether they have to PPK with the SOCOM or they choose to go for the Nikita. Looks like both of them have gone SOCOM here. It's Plywood setting up with the couch track. Did he crouch? He didn't crouch, but he's going. Oh, of course. Plywood goes for the sort of back ankle shot on Mantis at the start there.
Wow.
This is looking pretty clean.
Really good phase 1 coming from Plywood here. That's really good.
That's perfect damage for the phase skip here. prufr0ckk gets started. He also doesn't crouch. He's going for the slightly slower version, just sort of dodging out the way. He does get the punch, so this is looking good for prufr0ckk to get the phase skip as well. Oh, he just started leaning back in a bit too early there. He's gonna have to wait for those chairs.
And he got one non-crit shot, so unless he recognizes this, he will not be doing the phase skip. Yep, so he actually needed to actually hit him 2 more times in the non-crit area in order to save this, but yeah, at this point, now he has to deal with this phase and, oh, missing Mantis a bit there.
I'd say that next shot there is probably not too bad, because he didn't do anywhere near enough damage towards the phase skip, so that can cause some problems in the final phase where Mantis will disappear and start running around. So getting that extra bit of damage there, getting a body shot and a headshot in the second phase is probably beneficial. As long as he can finish the fight here, he should be okay.
All right, and prufr0ckk finishing off as Plywood is now getting ready for dialogue skip. Oh, yep, just take it safe and just do that. Small dog got in the way.
Sometimes Snake likes to aim at the pupper.
Yep, it's just how it is. All right. And now we have to go and backtrack to get the sniper rifle, but surprise, it's actually pretty short. Yeah, we only got to go back like 2 or 3 rooms here rather than go all the way back to the armory for the PSG-1T, as prufr0ckk had a little bit of trouble there tranking that dog, and is in a similar predicament. Let's see if... Ooh, okay. Snake was a bit better with his aim there.
That was really nice from prufr0ckk. Getting the Meryl skip in there. Plywood opting for the SOCOM there. Just, he's had enough of these wolves.
Yeah. Ooh, nice little roll into there.
That was really nice.
All right, so the next room, all you gotta do is go down to the bottom left room, and there is the PSG-1T waiting for us, and there is some ammo, and you don't need to grab it, but if you want to be safe, you probably should, because you only have 2 spare bullets, and it also depends on what you want to do for the catwalk, like if you want to use multiple, or if you want to even stock up some for the Wolf 2 fight, and yep, I was just gonna grab the gun and go.
Not surprising at all, he is quite comfortable with the wolf fight. I would think we're going to see prufr0ckk grab the ammo.
Probably, yeah. I think he's done it previously, so unless he feels like he needs to be more risky. Oh, he tried going for the roll as well, and unfortunately was a little bit mistimed on that.
A little high five from the runners as they exit and enter the caves. Now, Wolf 1 can be a fickle foe. There is RNG as to exactly where she's going to stand, where she's going to run to. So, it's this is a point where prufr0ckk could catch up. I don't think prufr0ck's going to be able to take a lead, but he could catch up depending on how Plywood's Wolf 1 goes. So, let's watch Plywood's. It's a good start. She's been really...
Oh, missed the body shot. Unfortunate.
And he's done.
Right in the kneecaps. Oh.
Could have been quicker, but not by that much. There is not a lot of wiggle room here for prufr0ckk to catch up now. Yeah,
so definitely I think Plywood should be doing the toss prison roll rather than doing bonk or anything else of the sort. Oh, he keeps on switching to chaff. It's only 1 up. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Just struggling a little bit with that weapon there.
All right, let's see how prufr0ckk handles this fight. Oh, similar start. Oh, you gotta zoom in more, buddy. Oh. Oh, no.
Oh, struggling a little bit. Does take a lot of getting used to the aim on this. Oh, that's a really nice shot there. Nope, that's.
Oh, as I reload.
Just and he gets on the last bullet.
Wow.
But with Wolf not going behind the pillar there, that's going to be a similar time on Wolf for both of them. I think Plywood still came out on top there, but not by a lot. And he does get the roll into the PSG-1T as well. All right, nothing to do again, but just sit around and wait for these guys to wait out the prison sequence.
Yep, and this is going to be very important, as I said in chat. I think Plywood will be doing toss. I have some doubters in chat, but I know that Plywood is usually one to go pretty safe, and he also regularly watches, the progress and like comparison during a race. So he may see that he's decently ahead to where he could afford a toss, but we will have to wait and see. He may just be feeling really comfortable and really confident on the bonk that he just goes for that. So.
For those unfamiliar with some of these terms here, the whole point of this next section is to get out of the prison without triggering the event flag for breaking out of prison. And the event flag is triggered if you grab your equipment whilst Johnny is incapacitated or Johnny has already run back off to the toilet. So we have a couple of different methods of getting through here without either of those two things happening. And we will see which ones these go for. I think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to see a hard roll from either of them.
Definitely not. I think the only person that would do that would be Alien, and I think he has even kind of run that off and retired that strat. As JJ gives another sub to Joseph. Thank you so much.
Hey, shut up in there, will ya? Shut up in there, will ya? Shut up in there, will ya?
All right, Plywood getting into position to trick Johnny. Let's see what he goes for.
My stomach. Damn it.
Will Tyler's prediction come true?
I hope so. If I was Plywood, I would definitely do that. Oh, he's actually going for bonk. Okay.
Went for bonk and lands it.
You know, I just say if he's feeling good about it, then he will, and obviously, you know, he feels really good about it. So that pretty much forces prufr0ckk to go for the bonk here. I don't think you can do toss and feel all that confident here. Like, I feel like you have to do bonk at this point with especially that now just transpiring. Yeah, Plywood's really trying to just cement his lead for the rest of the race.
A slip up here from prufr0ckk is going to be quite devastating at this point.
What the hell?
All right. Is prufr0ckk feeling up to the challenge? He's going... Oh, no, he's going for the roll. He's going for the roll.
He changed at the last second, so he didn't like the angle. I respect that. He didn't like the angle, so he went for the toss. That would have been a lot better than if he failed the bonk.
That's better.
Yep, we can confirm that he did get that toss successfully. So he at least gets the event skip. And by event skip, I mean that because the game now currently thinks that both runners are still in prison and that they haven't escaped from Johnny yet. And so when it gets to the next event trigger, which is in the underground passage, they are going to skip that trigger. So they're going to skip the cutscene that comes with that, and then quite a lengthy codec call is skipped as well. All in all, it's about 45 seconds in the underground passage that it saves. Give or take a few, depending on how well your journey to it goes. prufr0ckk really testing the edge of that camera range. And one more time through the nuke building as Plywood comes up to the disc swap.
All right, and now we are going to the tower climb. A bit of an interesting section. A couple different ways that you can slice it. Do mostly stuns, mostly M9, a bit of both. You know, it's whatever you feel like.
And Plywood didn't
issues.
look like Plywood was quite ready for that disc swap there.
Yeah, so slight time loss for that. Not by much though, second or two. Yeah, so you can actually swap the discs as it's actually starting to fade in to where it's pretty much instant. If you do it too early though, then it'll be like, hey, don't do that, but that was way too late.
Alright, looks like we're gonna see Plywood just go for the stun grenade strat. There's a couple of different options for getting up Tower A. You can either just throw stun grenades, you can just use the M9, or maybe he is going... Oh, no, he is just going for the stun grenades. Or you can use a combination of both. It looked like he was swapping to the M9 there just in case just in case he missed. All right, prufr0ck's got a little time save here if his disc swap goes better. And it does. That's how it should be done. prufr0ckk also has quite a few stun grenades, so there's probably a good chance that we're going to see him go with the stun trap. As Plywood is just about getting towards the end of the tower A climb. So about a room between them. Next up is the rope rappel down. This is a really simple one for this. It's far easier to pull off than it was in MGS1. Of a pretty foolproof method, as long as you know how to do it, and you press the buttons that you're supposed to press.
Pressing buttons is very important.
It is. If you try and press the button for crawl instead of shoot, you don't jump off the ledge. I discovered that in my last run. We should see the really simple version of this. Down twice, tuck into the wall, follow the girder down to the left, jump down left, jump down left, jump down, and Snake will instantly do the skip. Bump, there he goes. Yep, flawless from Plywood there. Just as prufr0ckk goes up and prepares for his.
Yep. So opting for the stun here rather than using the M9 or the SOCOM.
Looked really clean. And that strat, Plywood made that look quite easy. The most difficult thing about that is because Twin Snakes is notoriously dark for some weird reason. It's actually really difficult to land that headshot, and it really is down to muscle memory rather than vision.
Yeah, usually you would just lock on and then flick up in order to get that headshot there, because if you lock on, it'll just lock onto their chest.
prufr0ckk put an extra jump in, but he seems to have. Oh, that's a. Doesn't quite look like he really knows the strat there, but he gets through it relatively quickly. Oh, I apologize. I've started the fog debate in chat now.
Oh, looks like prufr0ck's going for the more aggressive approach where you just shoot them. Alright, pretty good.
Clean.
Already has the chest pre-selected. Very good menu optimization there, because for whatever reason, whenever you go into this room, it takes away all your weapons and puts your current one on the previous, which is very weird. It's the only room that does that. I don't know why it does, but it does. Reasons.
Again, about a room between these guys, and prufr0ckk is now starting to run out of opportunity to catch up. But we do have every runner's favorite boss in the game. It's time for the Hindy.
So if you are prufr0ckk, you definitely want Plywood to be having a bit of trouble here, which most trouble comes in the second phase, depending on where he flies towards, because that could depend on if he's able to get a lot of shots off beforehand or not. So let's see how this turns out.
Plywood gets perfect phase 1 there.
Oh, he lost him. Oh. Ooh, I think he missed the +1.
I spoke too soon. Yeah, I was one shot too early. So just that might be enough for Plywood to have to go through another cycle when the hindy starts dipping down.
It was being fairly nice.
Really nice.
Up.
That was a
Okay,
really
yeah.
nice
So
blind shot.
this is not ideal health, but as it does dip back up pretty quickly, as prufr0ckk now begins his fight.
So it would have been optimally. Plywood could have got 2 more hits in before the hind first went down.
Oh,
So
prufr0ckk
he does
lost
have-
the hind.
But the rest of this fight is looking good for Plywood so far. He's got at least 1 more dip. You want to get 1 more of these shots,
Ooh.
and he does. Excellent. So 1 more shot for Plywood. Final dip down for him. Just as prufr0ckk continues through phase 1.
I think he's having some bit of a trouble here. Yep. Oh, did not get that +1 either. Yeah. Well, have to hope for him going to the right-hand side and getting a lot of extra shots off. Which he's so far flying to the left.
Oh.
See if it stays that way, but... Oh, okay. This is good. At least he can maybe get 1 more shot off. Nope.
So he starts the final phase with the same amount of damage done as Plywood had done.
Yeah,
So
it's about the
he's-
same.
He's really going to need to land those second
Oh,
shots.
too early.
That's unfortunate. He's also running low on stinger ammo.
I'm not going to be wasting it right now. Yeah, I want to wait till later to waste that. And now he can maybe get a decent double here. Oh, the lock-on was too late.
Stinger
Yeah,
missile
so
speed just wasn't keeping up with the hind there. That's really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
want to make sure to actually lock on and then shoot, because if you shoot and then lock on, there's a chance that can happen. Not good. This one right here is kind of hard to do unless you. Yeah.
This is going to give Plywood a much more commanding lead now. It's going to be very difficult for prufr0ckk to pull this back.
Now standing on top of the ammo pack. All right, 1 more and he's done.
So
All
he's
right.
going to empty out his clip just so that he can make sure he exits with 10 stingers. Just as Plywood is about to get to the elevator. So yeah, at this point, prufr0ckk kind of needs everything else in this run to go really, really well, and in all honesty, he needs Plywood to make a mistake. It's really not just playing well at this point isn't gonna cut it. He actually needs Plywood to make some sort of major mistake. Oh, crikey, wow, JJ MGS1, thank you for another tier 1 gift sub to Minimix NZ. Someone's playing with dollar bills this evening.
That's right. As it is the last race of the day.
But not the last race of the week. If you're enjoying these races, folks, we got another 3 for you this Sunday. We are trying to let prufr0ckk know that he's got his cursor on the screen.
I'm sure he'll change it once he has a bit of free time.
A little early on, yeah, a little early on that grenades. He's going to get shot. As Plywood goes into Wolf 2, and this is the last major RNG all the way up until the liquid fight. And oh, he misses the shot there, and she's gone behind one of the trees, so nothing to do but sort of sit and wait. And she's decided to go back behind the snowdrift, so Ply not getting the best RNG here, but he's making the most of the opportunities when they come. This is a really good
Ooh, she dipped
Really good.
down.
Oh, and she dipped down just as he was about to land the final headshot, but he does finish the fight. Given the circumstances there and the RNG that he got, that was reasonably good.
Too late, Snake. Now die!
And so Plywood enters the home stretch.
All right, let's see if prufr0ckk can have any improvements upon that fight to what Plywood did, as she was hiding a little bit. So definitely not the perfect fight or the ideal fight. So let's see if you can maybe get a little bit of that back, because there's still some other factors, you know, later on, like the rope, how liquid goes, the escape. There's still some factors that we have not taken yet. Plow is going through the blast furnace here, which is cut much shorter, and you know, just having to like drop straight down and then go right to the side here makes this section a breeze. As now prufr0ckk starts the fight. Oh, instantly hiding, it looks like.
That's unfortunate. Oh, but she's immediately back out again. Can he get that, land that first shot? He does. He has started.
Ooh,
really
double
nice
back.
Fire, but she's double back. Let's hope she doesn't double back again. It can happen.
Ooh.
Just drops down. It just dropped his aim slightly there.
Don't empty the clip.
Plywood gets a really clean elevator fight there.
Not landing these headshots, he's landing these body shots, not good.
Oh.
I think one more will do it. Yep. That was alright. I think Plywood was still edged out a bit.
He seemed to struggle to keep his aim straight there. For the most part of that, once you've got the aim on the headshot, you should be able to just revert to the directional pad and just use left and right. And Plywood is now coming up to the next boss fight. This is going to be Raven. There really isn't much to this fight. Once you're in position, it should be pretty straightforward. You are going to want to make sure you've got that ration equipped, though, just in case.
Alright, and yep, it's gonna be just firing singers. Plywood's not the ration equipped. Okay, he quickly realizes that, hey, maybe I need this.
Yeah, that is not an amount of health you want to try and tank through without using a ration. That's nice and clean. Just as we see prufr0ckk go for the cargo fight, he struggles just a little bit, but that's relatively good. And immediately prufr0ckk gets his weapons set up ready for the next fight. It's kind of been a bit of an interesting thing that we've seen here, where prufr0ckk has like set up his weapons really well ahead of time. Plywood tends to just wait until the boss fight starts to then get his weapon set up sorted, which you know both work.
All right. So, do you think we have any rope deaths today? Kind of that, like, you don't want to do any like commentators' curses, but you know, gotta throw that out there now.
This is the point where things can go wrong. You got rope. You could miss the rat.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and I believe Plywood had a PB a couple weeks ago, or maybe even a week or two ago, that had 2 rope deaths in it, and he still PB'd. Funny enough, so it's not entirely impossible.
All right. Of course, quite thankfully, here in Twin Snakes, once Snake enters the underground base, he don't leave it again until he's done. Thank Christ. As prufr0ckk begins his Raven fight. Shuts the space up nicely. How does he manage with the? Oh, he just takes the shot before he lands the headshot. But that's clean. That's good. It's about as much as he can and hope for at the moment.
All right, now we get to see the rope in action. And of course, you want to just double tap this. You don't want to mash because there is an actual kill frame. So, oh, a bit early, but it works out.
Yep, no problem.
And I believe Plywood always looks to shoot the rat rather than grenade it. And very far into the water. Oh, you even got the time bomb as well. It's unfortunate.
Oh, wow. I don't see that very often. Oh, and he just gets clipped by it as well.
Oops. Well, at least it didn't kill him, but... bit of splash damage, bit of a knockover.
But even then, that's not going to be enough for prufr0ckk here.
Yeah, it's very minor.
It's again, don't want to give the commentator's curse, but it really does look at this point that it is going to be a done deal for Plywood. There's really unless
the other rope, the other rope.
Yeah, unless he dies dropping down to the pipes, which I don't think we've seen in any runs yet.
It's very rare. Even for like newer runners, I usually see deaths on the like main rope, but going and like falling to your death on the pipe rope is very rare. Oh, he actually fell off the ledge there. That was interesting. I don't think I've seen that before.
That was a really nice shot.
Well, now it doesn't have to deal with him at all.
All right, is Ply going to go for the third person shot?
He's too far to the right.
He's quite lined up. Yeah. All right, let's hope prufr0ckk land. That was a little bit late.
Better late than never, though. And into the dirty water it goes as well. I think we've actually seen most of the runners have their like palki go into the water. I think maybe House has the like stats on that, but seems to be a pretty high turnover for that.
No time bomb for prufr0ckk though.
That's good.
All right, final palki change for Plywoods. Let's get our next high five. And Plywood makes his last grab. So any hope for prufr0ckk of Plywood getting a death to missing a grab is now all gone.
Yep, this is a pretty done deal, I would say, unless, you know, something very uncharacteristic happens, like dying on liquid, because this is a pretty big lead, because as you can see, he is about to actually finish the entire PAL sequence while prufr0ckk is just now starting at turning his card from yellow to blue.
See, even at this point, I don't think a really bad liquid from Plywood and a perfect lottery roll from prufr0ckk would be enough.
Yeah. And even so, I'm assuming Plywood would be going for, well, he may go for something a bit more risky here just because of the amount of lead that he has. He may be going for, you know, the lottery roll rather than going for the jam chunk. We'll have to wait and see.
Do we know if Plywood's changed his graphics settings on Dolphin over to Direct 3D?
I don't know. I don't know what the results of that were because he was asking Akuma for like his settings, and I had posted mine. I'm not sure if he's changed anything. Usually you can tell, at least going from Direct 3D to OpenGL based on the like FPS text, but it looks like he's still on Direct 3D at the very least. I think he was on 11. I don't know if he switched over to 12 or not.
Nice codec there from Plywood. If you, as long as you time your run over to the door, you can push select the moment Snake starts to turn around to press up against the door, and that will grab the start that codec call like on like one of the very first frames. This is looking like a very clean Rex phase 1, and it is. Timed those shots perfectly.
In front of you, I can finally die. After Zanzibar land, I was taken from the battle.
Plywood suggesting that he should actually throw the match just to help with scheduling.
We wouldn't want that now, though.
At this point, it would be quite difficult to throw it.
Unless he just turns off the game completely. Essentially, like, just very deliberately, like, you'd have to just be very apparent about it.
And it looks like his phase 2 is going to be just as simple. Yep, really well timed. It's a really good Rex phase 2. As we approach the liquid fight, prufr0ckk just about to start. Rex just once he's gotten out of the gas room. Quick JM chunk from Plywood, and setting up for the second part. It's little bit of damage with the roll there, but nothing too spectacular. And this is what you don't want from Liquid. You don't want Liquid like backing straight over to an edge straight away. Getting him back over to this corner is really nice though. This is gonna help Plywood just do quite a bit of chunk damage by just kicking him into that corner. And that should be him starting phase 3. But a really good phase 1 from prufr0ckk with Rex. And a really nice Liquid from Plywood. All right, escape route time.
I'll take the wheel.
Nothing too dicey here.
Yep, and I think with that, Plywood is pretty much cemented as the winner for this match.
And prufr0ck's got to be a little careful that he doesn't run out of stinger ammo here. He's been a little trigger happy.
Yep, and he literally can't miss any more shots because he fired 2 extras there. Needs to be very careful with his shot placement here. Okay. A bit spooky there, but it works.
Alright, let's see how his Liquid is. At this point, it's just seeing how much faster he can get. I don't know what prufr0ck's PB is. I don't know whether he'd be on PB pace at this point. It's a nice little jam chunk in, and Liquid into the corner. Oh, he just ran a bit too close to Liquid there to trigger a lottery roll. But Liquid's still in phase 1. If you can just get Liquid to go and stand back. Nope, there we go. That's the transition into phase 2. So he is just going to have to deal with the rest of the fight here. Plywood has very little issue with checkpoint 2. Oh, but prufr0ckk does manage to get Liquid into that corner and gets a little bit of an infinite combo off. That was really nice to see. That's a really good Liquid fight from prufr0ckk there. We've got chat suggesting whether Plywood's run here could be the fastest we've seen in the tournament so far. It has been very, very good.
Keep in mind that the timer was unfortunately started a bit late.
That is also
So-
true.
We will have to wait and see.
If I can find.
Should be me still having the fastest run of the tournament, I'm pretty sure.
Let's find House Test's lovely, lovely stat tracker. And yes, you are correct with a 52-58. You are currently the fastest runner in the league.
So now Plywood is going through the credits. I'm sure he'll be joining us here shortly. Oh, there he goes. All right, now as we see the escape coming out here from prufr0ckk as he's going to checkpoint 2. Not sure if maybe he is close to a PB or not, but you know, may as well keep on trying to see if you can get a nice race PB today.
So looking at this, prufr0ck's current PB, if this is correct, is a 56-31 is the best he's had in the league so far.
Okay.
So 56-31. I think there's a good chance
Yeah,
he's been on PB pace here.
Yeah, it's probably a PB. You know, no like huge errors. Aside from maybe I think like the hind fight, but I mean, a lot of runners have a lot of trouble with that. So I guess in like some regards, that is to be expected. But other than that, he had a pretty strong showing. You know, given the circumstances, I think he played a lot better than most had initially thought. Because you know, it wasn't until that like bong prison roll that Plywood was really, really far ahead, and as now prufr0ckk finishes. Now we see the final IGG coming out from Plywood.
So Plywood's current PB is a 53-37.
Might be close. Might be close.
Plywood. Oh, you're not here yet.
Welcome, prufr0ckk.
Thanks.
Sure to fast forward.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, and
53-28.
Plywood 53-28.
Yeah, I didn't win then.
So
I've got my
that's-
IGT here, but that's what I expected.
I do believe that is a new PB for Plywood.
Yep, I finally beat my console time, so now I'm finally ready to submit to the board. So that's nice.
And without 2 rope deaths, let's go.
Yep. Well, that I got robbed the last time. Which the thing that was annoying about this run is I was minus 54 coming into Rex, but then my liquid was screwing, then minus 31. So because I had a lottery roll in the PB where I died twice. Go figure.
Of course, because that's what happens all the time.
That's what happens, but you know, it's a respectable time.
That is the
Once again,
the
anyone who
third-
thought like, "Oh, where are you so far ahead?" Timer started late, so if I had a 52, I'd be flipping, but not quite that. But GG to Pruf.
GG.
That is-
It's a good race. I'm definitely not beating Plywood on a PB day, but I think I also PB'd as well, so I am not upset about my performance.
Speaking of, did you PB?
I believe I did. I think mine's going to be at least I've got splits up. Should be a 55-21, and my previous PB was a offline run a few days ago, and it was like a 55-51-ish.
Oh, okay.
We
should
take
be
those.
PBs,
We
right?
take those PBs.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I was
Max.
hoping for a league format so I could just get better forward, but I understand we had to switch it, and I've had just a fantastic time playing this game. This tournament just motivated me so much to run it, and I've got a time that I'm more than happy with even now. So yeah.
All right.
Well,
As we await the final screen, let me just go over to the bracket and let's see how things will shape up for the losers side. So let's see. So looks like for the next match, so Plywood will be going against the winner of Joe and House, and it looks like it will be Nick versus Vermilion as well. So that should be fun.
ooh, nice.
I think the other races are pretty much set in stone that are already on the schedule, as I still have one more day of Twin Snakes coming up on Sunday. And for the following week after, it'll be a bit of a lighter schedule just because of the 2 games in losers round 3 and in round 4. But the finale will be the weekend of October 16th, or sorry, excuse me, 15th through the 17th. And follow Apache Smash on Twitter, as prufr0ckk says there. So yeah. So you guys have any final words before we start to wrap things up here? Any special thanks?
Shout outs to weather effects in video games. That's my only
favorite.
shout out. That's my
Oh, okay.
single shout out. No one else. Just
Very
just
powerful.
weather effects.
It was doing some weird stuff for me. Yeah, usually I go diagonal opposite, and he
Can
was,
we see the time you're covering it up with your beam? Like,
I
come
think
on,
that
man.
says 55:21.
I can't see.
Wait,
I
is this good?
Jeez. It hasn't updated yet. Oh. There you go.
All right.
55:21. Okay.
There you
Yay. We have clarification. Let's go. All right.
PBs all round.
Yep, for sure. All right, everyone. So that will do it for today. But be sure to come back on Sunday, where for the schedule we have Joe versus House, as I said earlier, Tyler versus Alien, and Volcanic Akuma versus Blue. So a lot of high caliber matches. So do not miss that on Sunday. And for me and everyone else, I will see you all on Sunday. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Cheers.